Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Bryce. I'm with Susquehanna Valley High School here in Conklin, New York. My email address is rbryce@svsabres.org. We are doing Algebra 1 Common Core Regents Review, January 2016. We're on question number 28. It is a 2-point question, 1 point for the correct answer and 1 point for the correct work. The graph below shows variation in the average temperature of the Earth's surface from 1950 to 2000 according to one source. And there is the graph. Notice years are on the x-axis, the independent variable. During which years did the temperature variation change the most per unit of time? So what does per unit of time mean? That's the end of the question. Explain how you determined your answer. So we have to find out per unit of time. So there is 1 unit of time. That makes a little bit more sense if I bring it right up there. Here is another unit of time. There is another unit of time. And another unit of time. Now, what happened there? There was a little bit of a pause because this whole part of the line was 1 unit at a time. It looked a little different than the rest. So if we notice, first of all, a horizontal line is going to have no change. During which temperature did the variation change the most? Well, there's no change there. There's no change here. So that's going to be totally out. If we notice also, that change, rise to, run 1, is the same as this change. Rise to, run 1, rise to, run 1, rise to, run 1, rise to, run 1. So all of these are out. That's 0. Here, it's rise 1, run 1. Okay, so this is not the most either, because this part is less than these. Here, change the most. We're going down 1, 2, 3 over 1. That's -3 over 1. Well, how much is that actual change? It's 1.5 tenths because of this scale right there. So that's a horrible scale. But during which years did temperature change the most? From 1960 to 1965, during that block there, from 1960 to 1965, it had the greatest change, comma, a drop of, so it dropped from 0 to -0.15. And that's all we need. Let's take a look at the next page. The cost of belonging to a gym can be modeled by this equation. The cost of M equals 50M plus 79.50, where C of M is the total cost and M is the months of the membership. State the meaning of the slope and the y-intercept. Where is the slope? The slope is also known as the rate of change. There it is right there. That's the slope. Slope is $50, which is the cost. Now wait a minute. We're spending $50. $50 what? Is that $50 to join? What's that M? That M is the rate of change. Rate of change. Remember, for if we plug in 3 months, it's going to be $150. If we plug in 5 months, it's going to be $250. So is that the startup cost, or is that the cost that we're going to pay every month? That's the cost we're going to pay every month, which is the cost every month. So what's the startup cost? The startup cost is $79.50. The $79.50 is the y-intercept. And that's the cost if you do nothing. So remember, the y-intercept is the number that it costs if you do absolutely nothing. That's when m is 0. Before you even walk into the gym to use the weights, to use the exercise equipment, to do the classes, you have to pay $79.50. That's the y-intercept. That is the constant. And then we have the slope, which is the rate of change, is the 50. If you have any questions on this, make sure you ask me in class, or you can listen to it a couple more times. Let's go on to the next question, number 30. A statistics class was being surveyed some students during one lunch period. They only did some, they didn't do all. About television programming preferences. The results of the survey are summarized in the table below. Based on your sample, predict how many of the school's 351 males. Males. Are there 351 there? Nope. That equals 105. Okay, so I wonder what happens. Out of the 351 males, how many would prefer comedy? Well, let me see. There are 70. Do you see that? There are 105 total. I added them up, but we have 70 that are males. So it's 70 out of 105. This is the part over the all. So we took part of it over all of it. Now, what's the total? What's the total amount of males? There are 351 males. So I can do this two ways. I'm going to do it the easier way first, and I'm going to multiply that by 351, and I'm going to have how many, this is percent times the total, and that's going to equal how many would prefer comedy. This is percent as a decimal times the total is going to give us our answer. So you do inside parentheses a fraction, 70 divided by 105, and then you times it by 351, and we get 234. So this equals 234. Justify your answer. We just did. I said there was a second way to do this. And that is still part over all has to equal what number over 351? The product of the means, 100 times x equals the product of the extremes, 70 times 351. So we get 24,570 equals 100x. I just saw that I made a slight mistake. This is supposed to be 105. The part was 105. So let's just change those. Just shows you that everyone has to constantly review their work. And then when we divide both sides by 105, we get x equals 234 people. So there are two ways to do that. If you have any questions, make sure you ask me in class or listen to the video again and do both. Ask me and watch the video. See you in class.